Welcome to another episode, everyone. You want to know how bloody prison can be? Well, 3 inmates were just brutally murdered in a riot, if you want to call it that, in prison in the visiting area. In front of their families. Some other inmates barged through the visiting door, kicked it in, got in there. They were trying to keep them out. They came in, weapons blazing, and attacked inmates inside of the visiting area in front of their families and killed 3 of them. Imagine going to visit your loved one in prison to witness them being murdered right there in the visiting area, right there in front of you, stabbed to death. That's what just took place. Man, check this out. Now, these are the 3 inmates that died. Teddy Jackson, Jimmy Trammell, Ahmad Hatcher. They were saying that the one on the left was Hispanic. I don't think so, especially not with that name. These 2 are certainly black, obviously. It looks like all 3 are black. Now, apparently, before this happened, a week before this incident, another inmate had been killed. Now, I believe that he may have been Hispanic. Now, I don't want to give out false information, but I believe his name was Garcia or something. From what I just read, the other inmate that was killed, because they don't speak about that here, a week or so before this incident right here. So it sounds like it could be retribution, a retaliation sort of thing, a retaliatory sort of thing. I don't know that for sure. I do not know that for sure. I don't know exactly what happened here, other than what we're about to find out.
An investigation is underway tonight as 3 inmates are dead and a correctional officer injured. That's after an altercation at the Washington State Prison Sunday night. The men and the prison are on the screen behind me right here. Ahmad Hatcher, Jimmy Trammell, and Teddy Jackson died in what officials believe was a gang-related fight. Hatcher was serving 20 years related to an aggravated assault from here in Richmond County. Jimmy Trammell was serving 20 years for first-degree burglary out of Fulton County, and Teddy Jackson was serving 10 years for aggravated assault in Bibb County. Maggie Fitzgerald reports from the Washington State Prison tonight.
Okay, so they said from gang violence. So that's why I said I'm not sure what happened. They said, but I don't know. I mean, what gang did they go against? Where this gang was able to break into the visiting area while people are visiting and attack these individuals to the point of murdering all 3. Now, in the visiting area, they do not have weapons. The police, the COs, they don't have guns in there. They don't have gun towers, what have you, in the visiting area. So if you're in there fighting or stabbing someone, you're going to have time to take care of business. Because the most the police are going to be able to do is maybe swing their billy club at you, spray you with mace, etc. But they can't shoot you. They don't have any guns in there. So if you're hell-bent on killing someone, you're going to have the time to do it. Now, the police are going to rush in there. They're going to rush into the visiting area at some point once they hit the alarm and the police run in there. But chances are by then you didn't have enough time, clearly, to take care of it. They killed 3 people right there in the visiting area. This is crazy.
Inside Washington State Prison, a Sunday brawl left 3 inmates dead and families searching for answers. But an eyewitness telling us today it all happened inside the prison's visitation area, where she says a group of inmates burst through the door, bloodied and armed, leaving visitors scrambling.
It's really just now hitting me how dangerous it really was, how much worse it could have been.
Tonight, an eyewitness says it all happened in seconds. A routine Sunday visit with a loved one at Washington State Prison turning into a nightmare. The witness asked to remain anonymous for her safety, But she says something felt off when she saw guards bolt out of the visitation area Sunday afternoon, leaving one female officer inside.
Something going on. We heard very loud, almost yelling coming from the walkie-talkies. You could hear her say, "Don't open that door, you can't come in here."
Shouting from the guard, first directed at inmates deeper into the facility, then to visitors, telling them to get out. The witness says the group overpowered a guard, taking his keys to then break into the visiting room.
The prisoners that were trying to come through the door were right behind her, hot on her heels. There's blood and weapons, and they just busted through a door.
Wow. So 3 dead, 13 injured. No, this was not a riot or a back and forth thing. It looks like the 3 that were killed were on the same team. This was a pure attack, and certainly they're not in the visiting area. The victims with weapons. You can't get in the visiting area with weapons. They strip you out. They strip you naked on the way to visiting and on the way out of visiting, at least in California, in the maximum security prisons. Then you say, well, how did these inmates get in there with weapons? Well, again, they barged their way in there. They wasn't there visiting anyone. The people who are there visiting someone who got called out for a visit, so-and-so, you have a visit. Your family's there, your mother's there, your sister's there, your girl is there. You don't have a weapon. You're not taking a weapon to the visiting area. So you're really at a disadvantage. If these dudes didn't bust in here with weapons, and clearly that's what happened, you don't have one. None of you have one. You're there with your girl, with your mother, with your daughter, your 2-year-old daughter. You just there having fun. You there, visiting your family, having a respite from the everyday life of miserable prison. There with your loved ones, with your guard down, comfortable something. Of course, you can't be comfortable in prison. You can't ever get comfortable on a yard, too comfortable where you let your guard down, because something like this can transpire at any time out of nowhere. But in a visiting area, yeah, you're pretty much comfortable. You have your guard down. You're chilling with your family. You're not thinking, how many people die in the visiting area? Not many, bro. There are not many attacks. Everybody has an understanding, at least in California. Visiting area, some things have happened, but for the most part, visiting area is off limits. Our families are out there. Our loved ones out there. Any beef we got, handle that shit on the yard. Now, obviously, either these individuals were on a different yard, because at least in California, you have the lower yard, you have the upper yard. But both of those yards lead to the same visiting area. But if you got a problem with some dudes on the lower yard and you're in the upper yard, that may be your chance. Now, I don't know how it is out there in Washington State, but maybe they were on the same yard and it was just a sneak attack. Again, these individuals that attacked them are going to know that these dudes in the visiting area do not have weapons. Not on them right now. So if we go in here with these weapons and we're serious and we're looking to take care of business for whatever the situation was, again, it sounds like it was, they haven't said that here, but via my research, someone certainly was killed a week prior to this. Now, again, I don't know if this is related, but whatever the situation, these dudes were serious, obviously, and hell-bent on unaliving these people. Not just, this was not just a gang fight. This was not just a beef. 3 people dead and 13 injured, which means more people were stabbed up. They just didn't die, thankfully, but they were stabbed up. These dudes, how many people came in this visiting area to attack these individuals? How many people came in there? Where 3 people were, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Standing between us and our loved ones.
The riot-style attack left 3 men dead, including 23-year-old Ahmad Hatcher. Hatcher's family says they are demanding answers and accountability, claiming he had warned.
Well, he definitely black. That's the one I wasn't sure about. That's his mother, I'm assuming. So all of them black. Now, I'm not making a race issue. It might have been blacks that killed them. You know, they said it was some gang shit. I don't know, though. I don't know what happened. Maybe I should try to find out a little bit more. In fact, I will.
His mother about unsafe conditions inside the prison.
A piece of my heart just was torn out of my chest. He was scared of his life. They were a cause of my son to get killed because they wasn't doing their job.
And Sheriff Joel Cochran says the scene was secure and all inmates were accounted for by 6 p.m. on Sunday. The GDC is investigating.
Yeah, no. Not all inmates were accounted for. Not 3 of them. 3 of them will never be accounted for again. Wow, that's heavy, man. And this is what you're up against when you're in prison. You know, clearly, this is an illustration that you are not safe anywhere that you go in prison. There is no safe haven. Inside of your cell, you can get killed. On the yard, you can die. Inside of the kitchen, yeah, people have died there. And now even in the visiting area, there with your mother, your sister, your children. You know, they're in the visiting area, they have vending machines with food in them. And they have a microwave in the visiting area. So you can go and get your little cheeseburgers and this and that, little fake little cheeseburgers, put them in the microwave. But this is something, boy, for the dudes up in there, for the inmates in there. This is beautiful to have your family come up there and you can go in there and get some chips, cheeseburgers, some soda, this, that, and the other. And you sit there, you can play dominoes, checkers, whatever. They have little board games for you to play in the visiting area with your family. So again, you're in there, you're eating, your guard is down, you with your mother, your sister, whomever. The last thing you're thinking about or expecting is an attack, particularly one of this magnitude, where apparently it was so many individuals that came in there that they overpowered the guards and got in the visiting area with weapons in tow. They said that they were already bloody when they got in there. They must have kicked it off somewhere else. And man, they just overtook this shit and ran up in there and butchered some people. That's what happened. They butchered it. They got knives. It was a butcher, but they killed all 3 of them. It was a butcher and was trying to kill more. I don't know what happened. I'm going to have to do some more investigation to find out why this even took place, because this is some serious stuff right here. Wow, this is prison. This is somewhere you don't want to be. This is why you don't want to be in prison. I'm trying to tell you. I'm dead serious, man. This shit is not worth it. These people just lost their lives in front of their loved ones. Some of you that been to prison to visit someone. Imagine this happening while you're right there. Luckily, no one else was injured. You know, a civilian, someone that's not incarcerated, that's just up there visiting their loved one. Because that could have happened, thankfully, or it looks like it didn't. They said 13 more injured. They didn't say who it was. I'm assuming it wasn't a visitor. I'm assuming, because then you're really going to be in trouble. There's no excuse for that. Then your own gang or whoever going to turn on you. They're going to have to. So I'm assuming they left them alone, but still. Someone sat there, many people sat there. All of them people, it looks like the victims were getting visits. They didn't have any weapons. So all of them had loved ones in the visiting area with them, looks like. And they witnessed them being murdered and butchered right there in prison, right there in the visiting area, right there in front of their eyes, screaming, yelling, hollering, crying. Dudes in there on them, on their son, on their brother. Can you imagine? This is prison, no mercy. They don't care. Stay out of there. Stay out of there, man. Stay out of there, bro. I'm dead. That shit don't make you tough being in prison. Not at all. Stupid maybe, but not tough. Particularly if you keep going back like I did. Stupid. There's nothing good about that. Nothing. Stay out of that shit. You can be strong, tough, right here on the street. You really want to be tough, take care of your kids. Take care of your girl. Take care of your wife. Take care of your mother. You really want to be tough. That's what tough is. This shit right here is not tough. This is a waste of life. No purpose. Nah. Rest in peace to those individuals, man. Hate violence. Rest in peace to those. I can only imagine what they were going through in there. No escape, couldn't get out, couldn't run out of the visiting area. They just right there with no weapons, just getting attacked by who knows how many people on them. Had to have been an ugly scene up in there, blood everywhere. All bad. Stay the fuck out. Stay safe and stay free, people.